I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, we live? Here we are. All right. What's up, Chad?
What's up? It's been a few weeks. We're back at it, though.
Yeah, it's been almost a month, but we're back for episode 14 on the Half-Turn Podcast. We've been, kind of busy. I mean, finishing up our seasons, Thanksgiving and stuff, and then but you're almost done your semester, so then it'll be easier to kind of, get in a groove, get you back in the studio.
Yeah, this should be our last Zoom one for a while, so.
Yeah. Not going to lie, Zoom kind of makes it easy, but –
it does, but I miss the studio, you know?
Yeah, in the stew.
Yeah.
We got to add some stuff. I added a fresh hermit scarf right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, we start off every one. What are you wearing?
Oh, so I'm wearing one of your old men's league jerseys. They're actually called the Dirty Birds.
The Dirty Birds.
Yeah, Puma jersey. Nice jerseys. Got a sponsor on the front. So.
Yeah. I don't think I ever wore that. We got two kits, and we always wore the blue one, never the black one.
I guess it didn't fit you, so I got it.
Yeah, it's definitely a little tight. But that was it was like a summer men's league. It was pretty competitive. A few of the teams were pretty good. And a lot of times men's league, you get what you put into it. So if you take it seriously, you get a good workout, you know?
Yep.
So I'm wearing a brand new purchase. Got it from eBay. About $25. It's a Freddie Adu long sleeve t-shirt. So it has the old U.S. Soccer logo. And it just says number 11 Freddie Adu.
Wow. Must be inspired by the Freddie Adu podcast that you've been listening to.
Yeah. So it says match debut January 27, 2001 versus China. So I guess it's they made him a shirt. But yeah, it's kind of good timing because Grant Wall, the Sports Illustrated soccer writer, is coming out with a podcast series about Freddie Adu and his ups and downs and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. I haven't listened to it yet. I'm trying to get through some other podcasts first.
Yeah. I listened to the first episode and it's really good.
Oh, really?
He explains really well and interviews a ton of different people.
Oh, so, dude, I'm excited.
Listening to it if anybody hasn't yet.
I've honestly never listened to a podcast that's a series that progresses. So
yeah, that's why I think it's cool. It's it's unique in that way. So
unique. But yeah, it's been a while. Last episode was episode 13. We had Mike Tringali on, my friend. He's goalkeeper coach. Dude, I think that was one of our best episodes. If you're really looking for knowledge and you're just interested in, what a coach thinks, how players develop, that kind of stuff, inside the mind, I think that's one of our best ones.
Yeah, definitely. We should definitely start to get more people like that on the podcast.
Yeah, I think once we get into a groove, I think we could definitely get some good guests. And we could just get Mike on, for the banter.
Shout out Mike, too.
Yeah, shout out Mike. I was talking to him today, so.
Nice.
That's pretty cool, yeah. So agenda for today, I think, one, just getting back, recording, get back in front of the camera. I want to talk about, recap the European-based U.S. men's national team camp and friendlies that happened a few weeks ago. And we're actually recording this the day before the December ones. So a lot of MLS-based players are in that camp. So the next episode we'll review that. But I figured want to kind of touch base, and that way we kind of record our opinions of these players, and then we can go back and see how our opinions change or if we're right or wrong. And as Chad knows, I'm normally pretty right on my player evaluations.
No.
Not going to lie.
You might be right. You might hit on maybe 2 or 3, but you'll miss on maybe 5 or 6.
My misses are so small. They're on random guys in MLS, but my hits are
that's the thing. You think these random guys are going to be top players, and they don't even turn out to be average.
All right. Some of my hits recently were Son from Tottenham. I would have been buying his stock 3 years ago.
All right. Yeah, but he was already on Spurs at the time.
Yeah, but he wasn't Son. Dude, he's a top winger in the world.
Okay.
I was big on him. I was big on Gnabry. We can go through them all, honestly. Like I've been big on Mason Mount. He's coming into form. Olivier Giroud just scored 4 goals in the Champions League last week, and you know I've been high on him for years.
You're
Man.
just a Giroud fanboy.
Oh yeah, I was looking to try and buy a jersey, but they don't really sell them anywhere. Like they don't sell them on eBay.
And your new guy, Sam Lammers.
Yeah, Sam Lammers from Atalanta. He's going to be good.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah. So since we've been away, like tell us about, what you've been up to other than school, like soccer wise.
Anyway, this is my last week of school, so I'm going back home after this.
Hey.
But, so I've been continuing training with the team. That's 15 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a few games, played a few games. I've been training about 3 times a week. And then around Thanksgiving, we took about a week off. And then this past week, we got back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Game coming up on Sunday, a cup match. And it's this amateur cup that we're in. Mm-hmm. And our majors team is already in the finals. And then our reserves team plays a team from Lancaster. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we can win that. And then the majors will play the reserves, both from the same club. So
you've been at your college season got canceled in the fall. Hopefully there's something in the spring, but you've been with this team since September or whatever. Pretty high level. How has your level increased? What do you think you've gotten better at?
Oh yeah, my level has definitely increased. I think just the coach always says work on your pre-touch vision. And that's a big thing, when you're playing with Division I players, at practice, you're just gonna get better. It was tough at first getting used to it, but you just gotta always I got so much better just checking my shoulders, first touch in the space, just speed of play overall. Yeah. And you can see how hard these guys take it and how competitive they are during practice. Yeah. If we're playing a game and when we need 7 passes for a point, and you mess up on the 6th pass, they'll yell at you. And
7 passes for a point.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah. That's why I always say my game took a jump every time I went up a level, whether it's club soccer or JV to varsity in high school or college team to some kind of summer team or whatever. It's a big deal. And that's why I feel maybe yours and mine both, points of our youth career, our development kind of stagnated because we were on the same club team. Yeah. And if you don't have a top coaching or top talent at that club team, just kind of fall into place. You're not challenging yourself. That's why people talk about going to Europe for professional players. It's not just going to Europe, it's going to a higher level where there's higher stakes, faster speed of play, that kind of stuff. We talked about it a lot, so I'm not trying to talk too much about it. But
so right now I'm working towards the end of January, which is what they set for our season to start, January 24th.
Really?
Yeah, they said January 24th or around there. So
dude, soccer in the cold is kind of hype.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. A nice snowy game with Draper Walsh.
Yeah, I know, right? Mm-hmm. How about you? What have you been up to?
So, since we last talked, the high school team I helped coach, St. Augustine Prep, we won our sectional title. So basically, in a normal year, you'd have a conference, and then so you could win the conference. There's a South Jersey Coaches Cup, which is all of the teams in South Jersey play each other for a title. And then there's we're a non-public school. So there's non-public A, which is the bigger non-public schools. And then you play South Jersey, and then the winner, South Jersey plays the winner of North Jersey, and that's for the state championship, which is the ultimate goal every year for every team. But because of all the COVID stuff, they regionalized everything. So what we played was a non-public playoff schedule, but just the South. So once you beat the last teams in the South, it's over. So we ended up non-public South champions, which is pretty cool. It stinks we didn't get a state championship game, but we won what was in front of us, which was awesome. We won the final 3-0.
Only lost 1 game the whole season.
Yeah, and it sucks that we lost that one game. We were the better team, but we played some really good soccer along the way. And like me being like, this is the first time I really like got in and coached a team like with stakes, with like, that wasn't just helping out with a club team or whatever. And this was like I learned a lot, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It wasn't like it was too hard for me or too much. And I was only an assistant coach, but like it helped me, like, how do you go through preparing a game? How do you prepare an off season? How do you prepare a practice plan for the week leading up to a game? How do you like manage, like deal with personalities and that kind of stuff?
Subbing.
Yeah, I was the sub guy. I was also the hype beast coach that carried a notebook, but not like one of those little notebooks, like a full on like big notebook. So I would handle the subs as well.
You got your trophy today, right?
Yeah. We didn't get a trophy when we won, so it finally came in.
It's more of a bowl.
Yeah. When I get when I take a picture with the trophy, I'll post it on like the podcast Instagram or something.
Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, I did that, and then I finished up my season with my U9 boys team. I don't know if I talked about it, but we won our first game. So if you've been following, we were, a lot of like starter level players, first time playing travel. So we lost our first few games like pretty bad, like 5-0, 5-2, 6-1, that kind of stuff. We started like really improving, played a couple close games, then we finally won one, played really well, and then we tied, which we could have won, and then we fell off towards the end of the year. But here's my theory, because it's a podcast, so I get to complain. The best games we played were when there was a pretty big field, and sometimes some of our players just wouldn't show up, right? So little kids, maybe the parents don't text me and say, hey, I'm not coming or whatever. So there's a couple times we had to play, instead of 7v7, we played 6v6 or 5v5. So obviously on a bigger, like there's more room on the field. Now, all I work on at practice is like dribbling, skill moves, like taking players on, beating players, like being comfortable with the ball at your foot, because I think that's the most important. And all of those games were the games we tied, we were close, that we won. Those were our best games. Our worst games were when maybe the field was a little tighter. We had a full squad with subs. And, we try and pass out from a 6 kick, or the goalkeeper has the ball. The other team plants their 2 best forwards right on the build-out line, and they just rush and go win the ball. Meanwhile, I'm trying to, I try to rotate kids to different positions, because it's not fair to just stick one kid on defense. He might be, he wants to touch the ball too. He might want to play forward or center mid.
Yeah.
But, some teams, their best player plays right wing the whole game. Well, I feel sorry for that player, because they're not going to develop. That all they know is right wing. All they know is maybe someone's going to kick it along to him. Like, it's just, it's bad,
Yeah, I got you.
There's a lot more soccer people out there, and soccer's come a long way. There's still a lot of bad soccer out there too.
Well, you guys are back in the spring. When do you guys start that back up?
Yeah, that should be like middle of March. But all of the indoor stuff, like there's no indoor leagues going on. I think that all that stuff shut down. But we're still practicing. So like we had practice last night in the cold. I just tell them, bundle up. Like if you think about it, every sport that takes something seriously, like you should be able to brave the weather. If it's a little bit too cold, just tough it up, If it's raining or snowing, that's different.
Americans are too used to playing in warm weather.
Yeah. I mean, the warm weather teams also do better as well. Like in California, you could play for 12 months out of the year. So you're going to get better.
Yeah, but in Europe, they play in cold weather all year round.
Yeah, because they have to. And if you don't, and if you're not like tough enough, then you just don't play. I also think, these kids are 9, but there's other sports like swimming. You wake up at 5 a.m. to go practice, or, wrestling or something like that. Football, you wake up early to work out. So like the conditions don't have to be perfect to try and get better. It kind of makes me mad when people think that,
I got you.
So yeah, and I'm trying to structure these like kind of off-season practices as like
choir over here.
Yeah. Pickup game type things, like more along the lines of pickup and 1v1s and that kind of stuff, which is what I do most of the time anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, I don't know, been watching soccer. all that good stuff.
I haven't been watching as much soccer as I did throughout the summer.
Oh yeah, well summer was
Really had
pretty
nothing
awesome.
to do
Every day.
So, yeah, but I've been trying to watch as much as I can. Highlights. I just watch highlights all day.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, last thing before we get into like the real start of this podcast was I've been in contact with this bracelet company called Added Time Outfitters. So they sent me this bracelet and a few others. So yours is here too. And then we're going to be giving away a couple on our TikTok and probably Instagram. So this bracelet, it was designed after the 1994 U.S. World Cup jersey. So every bracelet that they make is designed after some moment that happened in soccer. So like one of the bracelets is based on the Origi goal to send Liverpool through against Barca. You know, so like this one was designed after the U.S. goal in the 94 World Cup against, I think, Colombia. And it's the same colors, like those like denim jerseys. I wore one on the podcast at one time.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool. So we've been in touch with them. They sent us some stuff. So we're going to give them away. So if you're listening to this early enough, keep an eye out on our social media pages. We'll give some away. They're actually really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Again?
What'd you say?
What's the name of the brand again?
Added Time Outfitters.
Added Time Outfitters. All right.
Cool website too.
Yeah.
Good guy. All right. You want to talk men's national team?
Let's do it.
All right. Let me pull up the lineup real quick.
So the two games that they played were they drew 0-0 against Wales.
Mm-hmm.
That was in Wales, right? Or
yeah, well,
in Europe. I
think both of them were in Wales, right?
No. And then they beat Panama 6-2 later in that week.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I was thinking we kind of just talk about, some lineup stuff and what we think of these players long term. Because, I don't think anyone listening really cares too much if Matt Miazga had a good game or a bad game. But, like, after seeing Matt Miazga, how do we rate him going forward?
Yeah.
So you want to kind of start?
Yeah, where do you want me to start at?
Let's start with the lineup against Wales. So Zach Steffen in goal. Is he our number one? Is it that simple?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you start Man City tomorrow.
Yeah. Looks good. I don't know enough. We'll have to ask Mike about that one. So center back partnership for this game. I think this is like our strongest. Maybe this is what Greg's strongest back line. He has Brooks and Miazga. John Brooks playing for Wolfsburg, Matt Miazga. I think Brooks is pretty solidified as the best center back here.
I agree. I think Brooks is like the number one choice at center back, like our best center back.
Honestly, I think he's taken a step up the past year or so too. And like I always tell you, I feel like center backs develop later. A lot of it's, knowing when to step, know when to drop, know when to nudge somebody off, like different angles. So it's a lot of experience. Like the best center backs are normally older.
Yeah. And then Miazga started next to him. I don't remember too much of Miazga. It says he got a yellow card this game. Don't know what happened, but
yeah, I like Miazga. I feel like he'll get opportunities. I don't know if he's the starter or not. Like,
who else?
Yeah, I think there's a few others. Like, I'm more of a Mark McKenzie guy, and we'll see him tomorrow when the U.S. plays. I think Mark McKenzie could slot in there and do a job, but we'll see. Maybe
is it long in camp? This camp?
Not sure. I'll have to go back and look.
All right.
Yep. Outside backs for this game: Serginho Dest on the right, Anthony Robinson on the left.
From what I remember, I don't think I was too impressed by Robinson.
Exactly. A lot of people say that. That's what I was telling you. Like before, I've never been a huge Anthony Robinson guy. Like obviously he has potential. He plays in the Premier League. Played against Man City this weekend. I'm not a huge Robinson guy, but he's 19. Like he'll get better.
Yeah, and he can get up and down. Oh, he's 23.
Anthony Robinson's 23 years old.
He's 23. He turned 23 in August. So
not that matters a whole lot. Like
So he's older than what people think.
Yeah. Maybe when he first came onto the scene, he was 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge Robinson guy. I don't think he impressed too many people. Dest was good.
Left back is our worst position. Like,
yeah, and we'll get to that in a sec. I think Dest was pretty good. They asked him to do a lot of attacking because
I like that.
Like our front three, we had, Gio Reyna was playing out wide. And like I always say, I think Gio Reyna's a 10. I think he's attacking midfielder. So if he's always tucking in and Dest was getting the overlaps. But Reyna's not a guy who's going to stretch the field. He's tucking in, combining with feet. So it relies on Dest to get forward and stretch the field. But he's coming all the way from the back to do that. You can't always have him planted on the
well, in those games, he's not all the way coming from the back. Like, we already have, like, good possession for him to – by the time we switch it, he's already up the field.
Yeah, I just don't
and you have cover, like if McKennie and Adams were to play.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're thinking. So yeah, in the midfield, this is pretty intriguing. So Weston McKennie, Tyler Adams, Yunus Musa. So let's go McKennie and Adams first. I think Adams is just good.
Solid player.
I think he's overrated in the national team circles because, look, he doesn't start for Leipzig. People are like, oh, if he's fit, if he's that, Nagelsmann likes him. Nagelsmann likes him, but he never starts, man.
Nah, he doesn't.
Weston McKennie, dude, he's baller for Juventus. He was okay for the U.S.
Yeah, but he might be, like, other than Pulisic, the best American player we have.
Like, look, he's effective, but you're playing two defensive, like, destroyer center midfielders. You know what I mean?
I just love how – no, I think Weston McKennie can get up and down. Like, you saw it. Did you see the goal today?
Oh, yeah, it was class.
Like, for Juventus, he plays that role, like –
Hold on. John Hart texted us when he scored. This is what he called the goal. I said, oh, I didn't see it. How did he score? He said, epic aerial rip, a sideways in-air volley. Epic aerial rip. Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's times where, like, he makes, a nice turn, and then he looks to play, like, a long ball, gets intercepted. Or, like, makes a pass, and it's not quite there. But, dude, like, if he keeps improving like this at Juventus, like, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If he's that dangerous, number one, as a destroyer in center midfield, and number two, on set pieces in the air, then you change your system for a player like that. Like, you change your system to have that guy sit next to Tyler Adams, you know?
Yeah, and he might be the captain too.
Yeah, he looks like he brings that fire, the fight. Like, he wanted to fight Mexico.
Yeah.
And going forward, Tyler Adams hasn't really been healthy. I feel like every other week he has, like, a calf strain.
Like, this camp was, like, his first one in a year.
Yeah, so –
well, there was COVID, but still, like –
yeah. There was a global pandemic, so it's been a while.
I guess so.
Yeah. So it's not like, oh, Tyler Adams is our 6th, can't have McKennie at all, because McKennie could step in and do that role too, and he's doing it pretty well. Yunus Musa, what do you think about him?
I don't really have much of an opinion. I guess he was good.
Yeah, he's a dual national, plays for Valencia in La Liga.
He's like he can play like for 4 different countries or something.
Yeah, I think England's the main one. He played for the English youth national teams. He's only like 17, right?
He's 18.
18?
Recently just turned 18.
But from what I understand, like, at Valencia, he plays on the wing as well.
Yeah.
And I thought he would come in and be a winger, but, like, him as a center mid, he looks good, really composed on the ball. Like, I didn't really see him lose it a whole lot. He's really strong, but, like, he didn't do anything, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't see much from him. But
yeah, that's part of the reason the game ended 0-0. Like, there was nothing. You have 2 destroyer types, and then Musa, who's just – he'll get the ball with his back to goal. He'll take a dribble. He'll drop it back, and we reset. There's nothing – he's not a 10.
Yeah. So when we get to the front 3, I think there are too many guys, like, in this team that they're all like kind of guys who show for the ball. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, let's go to the number 9.
Yeah, because at number 9, we can get into it right now. Started legit. It's like a team full of European guys, and you bring in like how old is it? Let's see how old
he's like 26, dude.
He's a 28-year-old guy who plays in the MLS. Like,
yeah, well, because the Galaxy didn't make the playoffs, so I guess he was allowed.
Yeah, but it's just kind of weird that they brought him in and started him at the 9 when he doesn't really play the 9.
Yeah.
And if Berhalter wants to play with a player like Josie, Zardes, or Sargent, those are 3 main choices right now, I guess. Like, why are you playing legit? Like, he doesn't play anything like any of those.
So my theory is that the young guys – oh, sorry for cutting you.
I was just going to say, might as well start, like, one of the guys you brought in, like the guy who plays in France. What's his name?
Giacchini?
Gianchini. I love that name, too. Gianchini.
Yeah, I think he saw him. He saw Giacchini. He saw Soto. Those are the only 9s. Yeah. Well, I guess Weah could play there, but he's more of a winger. I think he saw those guys and was like, it's their first camp. I'm not going to start them their first game. Let me just get legit some minutes. He's really not a 9, and I think it was just to do a job, see how well we keep the ball. So maybe Berhalter kind of accomplished, what he wanted. He just wanted to see us keep the ball.
True.
So those 3 in the midfield, Moose is kind of like a slow player. He keeps the pretty good ball retention. Leget's coming back for the ball, trying to keep the ball. Then we have Gio Reyna, who we both really like, playing on the wing. I think he's more of an attacking midfielder. He's coming from the right side in, so he wants the ball to feed as well. He's not stretching the field.
I think that game, I think he was just kind of everywhere. Like, he didn't really stay towards the right side.
Yeah, well, I think Conrad drifted to the left a little bit. Conrad Del Fuente from Barca started on the left. But yeah, so like if Gio tucks in, you got Serginho Dest coming up the right side, which is good in theory, but you don't want Gio there all the time because he's not stretching the field. You know what I mean? He's not making it wide. He's not making it long, not threatening in behind. So if he just keeps coming to feet, the defense keeps coming, and pressures him, right?
Yeah, and when he plays at Dortmund, they don't play like out-and-out wingers either. So
yeah, at Dortmund, a lot of times they'll play like a 3-4-3. So you have a guy like Guerrero or Guerrero, I don't know how to say his name. They've been rotating that right back spot. But last year, Hakimi was a beast at it. The right wing back would just bomb up and down the field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Conrad, he stretches the field. He's getting minutes for Barca, but like
I didn't think he was that good in the 2 games.
Dude, like, obviously I trust Barca if they're giving him minutes. Every time I watch him, he's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, but like I saw his Barcelona highlights the other day. I think it might have been like a single game highlights, and he was so good, like so good. But give him the ability to go 1-on-1. Like, he has a ton of skill. So
yeah, he's different than what we have though. So, yeah, I mean, and then we had some subs in this game too, like Uli Lanes subbed in. I like Uli Lanes.
Yeah.
He's a winger. Like, he's just an out-and-out winger, I think. But can play the 10.
Weah
subbed in. I didn't see much from Weah.
Near day.
Like, dude, there's people that tell me all the time. What'd you say?
I think Weah might have came in towards the end.
Yeah, and he played more in the other game, but dude, there's people that still argue that Weah is better than Jordan Morris. It's just it's literally just looking at the club he plays for and making that assumption because Jordan Morris is better. Like, I like Weah, but he's also always hurt and doesn't get consistent minutes.
Yep.
I did like Johnny Cardoso when he came in. What'd you think?
I don't remember, to be honest.
So he comes in, he's like I guess he plays in Brazil. He's part Brazilian, but he's a ball-playing defensive midfielder. So he's like smooth passing, kind of cool to watch. But yeah, not much happened there. That's kind of my thoughts on that game.
Okay.
You want to go to the Panama game?
Yeah. This was the game we were down.
Yeah.
Early in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Reyna scored a free kick.
Mm-hmm.
And Gianchini scored 2. Soto scored 2. And then our man Leggett got one. They got one at the end. So
Both the Giacchinis were kind of like they were poacher goals.
yeah.
And then he missed the penalty too. Could have had a hat trick.
Did he miss a penalty?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a pretty bad miss as well. But so Stefan starts again. This time, so I think right now, if we had a game like a must-win men's national team game, I think the two outside back pairings are either Dest on the right, Robinson on the left, or Dest on the left, Reggie Cannon on the right.
Yeah.
Reggie Cannon's pretty good. Like, he never plays poorly. It's just Dest is really good.
Yeah.
So Dest on the left is not as good as him being on the right, and it sucks that, like, if we have to play him out of position. So
that's what I mean. Like left back, such like we have like no depth there. So
yeah, and it's like if you're trying to get your best 11 on the field, I think moving Dest to left back is the move.
All right, you played this game, Tim Ream. You played.
Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
Dude, Tim Ream's solid. Like, okay, like he's not great. He's not starting a World Cup game for us, but it doesn't matter. He's an old guy. He has experience. He plays in the Premier League. He led his team up through the English Championship. Like, he's a solid guy. I think he wore the armband for this game. I don't know why people hate on him. Like, Greg is seriously not – he's not considering him as, like, the savior. He's just a veteran in there to help the guys.
Yeah, I agree.
So, he was okay. Miazga, again, he's all right.
Same midfield. Same midfield three as the game before.
Yep. And then so Reyna started again on the wing. Giacchini up top, and Lanes out wide. I like Uli Lanes.
I don't remember Lanes in that game.
So we saw a little bit of Ledesma. Richie Ledesma plays for PSV.
Oh, I really like Richie Ledesma.
Yeah, I like him too. I don't think he's at this level yet, like to be an international. But
I think he just needs to play more for his club team.
More first team football.
Yeah, more first.
But yeah, he's a 10, man. He's creative. He unlocks people. Like,
he's really good for young PSV. So.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Well, yeah, but they spell it different.
Is the word young as in like these guys are young, or does Jong, like Jong, mean something in Dutch?
Oh, I just thought it meant young.
I thought it meant like reserves in Dutch or something. So
they could just be in reserves, but I call him young PSV.
Young. It's probably not. Hold on, let me look it up.
Yeah. Who was the other guy that played?
Oh, it does mean young.
Does it? Nice.
Yeah, you're in luck.
Oh, Chris Richards played this game too.
Yeah, I like Chris Richards, man. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah,
he gets on the field for Bayern every once in a while.
Yeah, he started in the Champions League. Was it last week?
And he plays outside back sometimes too, which is like I don't see him as an outside back, but he's good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like if we had to make a lineup tomorrow, like I wouldn't mind putting Chris Richards in there. I wouldn't mind putting, like I said, Mark McKenzie in there. Could be Miazga, could be Aaron Long right now. I don't know. Yeah, subs. Like you remember, like I've always been a Sebastian Soto guy.
Scored 2. I think Ledesma had both assists to him too.
Nice.
Back to that U20 World Cup connection.
Oh, dude, I love that U20 World Cup.
Yep.
That was kind of my thoughts on the game. Like everything else, like you're not going to take a ton away from this. That's just what I think. Like
I just thought it was like watching the game. I was like, wow, like look how many like young players there are playing. Yeah.
Here's another thing though that it's kind of bugging me, and like I could prove to be wrong because these are all good young players playing for good clubs, right? And all these guys are in Europe right now, except for Legit. Some people are like, oh, look at our future. Look at this guy. Like, we got this 19-year-old here and that 20-year-old there. It's like, okay. And I'm all for planning for the future, like different conversation. But we have a World Cup in 2 years. We have qualifiers later this year. We have, if there's CONCACAF Nations League or if there's a Copa America, I don't know what they're doing with that stuff. But we have qualifiers and a World Cup. At some point, it's got to be we're fielding a good team that's going to be, competitive and whatever, and that can beat Mexico and whatever. And it can't just be, we have this good young player here and here. Let's look at this and plug him into the lineup, Yeah. Because look, being old in international soccer is not that old. Jordan Morris is what, 26, 25?
Somewhere around there.
That's 2 World Cup cycles he still has left.
Well, it's hard right now because last camp was all European guys. This camp is now all MLS guys. When are they going to get to play with each other,
Yeah, that might happen, I don't know. Maybe in March, I would think is like the next time that could happen.
And I saw we start qualifying in September.
Yeah, it's like very condensed World Cup qualifying. And it goes into early 2022 because remember the World Cup is until like November.
Yeah.
So we're like 2 years away. But seriously, like sometimes it's, we can't have Tim Ream. He's not young enough. Or like, he's an old guy. He's an old head, whatever. Like we need this 18-year-old in there. Let's give him a call up. It's like, it's a privilege to play for your national team, and you got to produce, and we got to be thinking about how do we compete against Mexico? How do we compete in CONCACAF? How do we compete at World Cups?
Yeah, like if you
building a dream team of young guys, Yeah.
If you look at top teams in international teams in the world. Wait, who won the last World Cup? I'm blanking.
France. It feels like it's been a while.
That's not a good example.
Germany? What are you thinking about?
Portugal. Like
in the Euros?
Example, Pepe. Dude, Pepe is old, but I'm sure Portugal had plenty of young center backs coming up through the ranks, but that's just the solid guy. Even went into your 30s, you can still be one of the best players on the team.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be just because you're 30 doesn't mean you're going to lose your legs all of a sudden.
Yeah. And one thing I think people were so into it sucks we didn't qualify in 2018. Got to play the young guys. We got to reset. Okay, but we're 2 years down the road. Do we have any answers? We have to start slowly shifting that mentality to find answers, but find answers to how we're going to be able to compete. Because, all right, I like Ledesma. Let's use Ledesma as an example. What's he, 19?
19, 20, something like that.
Unless he's balling out by the time he's 21, by the time the World Cup comes around, I don't trust him in a World Cup game.
Yeah.
It's just these European players could develop so fast and be so good that I look stupid. But I'm just kind of mad that everybody is oh, look at this good young guy. Look at this good young guy. We've got to call him in. It's it's got to be something special about the national team. Yeah,
it's just because American fans are so focused on the young players now, and it's been like that for the past few years. And sometimes I hate even going on Twitter, when McKennie scores or Pulisic starts. It's Pulisic starting in the lineup. It's yeah, okay, he is this guy's playing for Barcelona or whatever. It's okay, we get it. That's gonna happen, right? They're on the team. They're gonna play.
Yeah, well, it's okay for people to be excited. It's just I don't know. People want to throw Josie out the window. It's the dude's still good, or I'm not making my Michael Bradley case, but a guy like that could still be serviceable. You shouldn't just shun them from the national team.
Yeah.
That's kind of my case. It's hard for me to think of examples right now of these guys because it's been so long, because we've pushed them all out the door and have been only young guys. So while these guys are good, it wouldn't shock me if these guys struggle when the competitive games start. Kind of like what happened at Canada in the Nations League. Yeah, you remember?
Yeah, we lost.
Everybody's, we lose to Canada for the first time in a while, and everyone's oh, I hate this, we stink, whatever. Well, yeah, because all you want to focus on is young guys, this young guy, that young guy, get rid of the old MLS heads. But then when you lose a game, you're ready to burn down the world. Come on.
Well, it's just going to continue because now there's players in MLS, young players. You even see it with the Union or in Europe. So it's just they're going to be
but
Europe, they're going to start hyping them up more than they do in MLS.
There's also a big difference between the people that hype up MLS young players and strictly hype up European-based young players, like the Euro snobs. You know, it's like there's good players here too.
At them, put their Twitter handles.
Nah, actually, a year ago today, I saw it on my like time hop that I was in like a pretty heated exchange on Twitter with some Euro snobs.
There's a lot of them. So,
Mm-hmm.
so this camp, like this December camp, is it like our best, like MLS?
No, I think it's just whoever like he felt like calling in, like mostly young guys.
Yeah, and he called in a European player too. Was it Cardoso or?
Cardoso's in Brazil, so maybe, yeah.
He might have called him up, or he might have called in. No, I think he called in Soda.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'm excited to see. I mean, dude, we have like Daryl DK. I'm really excited to see.
Oh, that's my boy.
Yeah, that's my boy. He's sitting there.
I watched him. I watched like his some of his games in college. I was like, oh, this dude's a beast. And then when I found out he was going to go to the MLS, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's good. Obviously, I think pretty highly of Aronson, but I think super highly of Mark McKenzie. I think he's starting caliber for the national team. And it's weird to say like he's the best center back this country can produce, but if you look at the other options, like he's pretty good already. And I feel like people won't start really taking him seriously until he moves to Europe. Apparently, he has interest from Bundesliga and Premier League teams.
I thought it was Celtic the whole time.
Well, they said Celtic or Bundesliga or Premier League teams.
Who's the guy? Never mind. I was going to say I heard someone going to the Bundesliga, but it was the other guy on the Union, Kai Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
That has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, though.
No. All right. Is that it for the national team? We'll see what happens in the December camp, and then we'll review that.
All right.
All right. So, ready to move on to our Q&A?
Yeah. How many questions do you have? I have 3 questions.
Yeah. So I'm just going through the questions that people commented on our podcast page, TikTok. There's like 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 questions. Okay. So you gonna bang these out first?
Well, you can ask one, and then I'll ask one of mine. My questions are from like some of my friends here.
Okay. All right. This guy. How can you join a national team like USA national team? So basically, he's asking, how do you make the national team?
All right. Well, the top national team, you obviously have to be performing at your club team, which if you look at our national team now, you have to be one of the top players on. If you're playing in MLS, you got to be the top player on your MLS team, or be playing on a high level in Europe. But
yeah, I don't know. Like
youth national team, you got to get scouted a certain way, I guess, at like youth tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, it's similar. Like you got to be on the top youth team in that area. So that's the thing. You know, TikTok kind of there's some people like me and you on TikTok that know a bunch of stuff, and then there's other people like maybe little kids or whatever that don't know a whole lot. So that kind of answers it.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. Who do you guys see as the biggest favorites for the upcoming European Championship? By the way, love your content. Shout out to our boy.
Nice.
Who do you think is going to win the Champions League? Was he thinking? Yeah, he's probably thinking Champions League, right? European Championship.
I was thinking the Euros next summer.
All right, let's do both.
All right, Champions League this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say back in Bayern if they don't get too many injuries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I keep thinking City's going to win it at some point. I would say it's between City, Bayern. Yeah, I guess you have to put PSG in there, but like they're not the strongest team. They've actually been struggling. But I just think like anytime you have that squad, they're dangerous. I think City and Bayern are the 2 best teams.
What about Juventus?
I was actually thinking like they're like really strong, and I could see them like making a run.
Beat Barca 3-0, 15 points in that group.
Yeah, a pretty easy group other than Barca though.
Yeah, but still.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's Bayern and City for me are the two best teams in Europe.
Yeah.
What about the Euros? So playing them this summer. I honestly haven't really watched any like Nations League or anything like that.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I say France is one.
Yeah, I love that French team, dude.
Honestly, Portugal maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Germany. I don't know what their deal is.
Yeah. I also want to say another thing, going back to like the U.S. national team when we're talking about national teams, one thing people don't realize is like they think just because we have a good player or someone playing at a club that he needs to start or he needs a call up. Like think about these top international teams, right? These top national teams. They have good players all over Europe playing for top club teams. That doesn't mean they get called up or that doesn't mean they play every game, you know?
Yeah.
It's got to fit the coach's system. So that's just something I was thinking of as well.
No, you're right. Any others? I mean,
any other
good European teams like England?
Italy's probably going to be pretty good. I don't know about England, man. They have good players. Apparently Southgate's been not great.
They're like deep in some positions and then they're just like okay in other positions. Like
pretty deep at right back.
Very, very deep at right back, very deep at winger. And then I don't think center backs like
Stones, bro. John Stones. That's another guy I like. He's good. Maguire.
It's TikToks, yeah.
All right, next question. Well, it's not really a question. Someone said Robert Lewandowski greater than Ronaldo. I would agree with that. I'm pretty sure you like got on me in the summer for saying Lewandowski was the best number 9 in the world. You definitely got on me for that.
Wait, you said that?
Somebody commented and said that as a question.
Yeah, you were saying Lewandowski.
I was saying Lewandowski's the best number 9 in the world at the time.
Let's clear this up. So this is back in like June. This is before Lewandowski went on a tear and scored a ton of goals and took his team to the Champions League. I would take back what I said, and I would say Lewandowski deserved to win.
Yeah, who's right? Who's right?
The Ballon d'Or, but I mean, honestly, who is more important to their team? Probably Ronaldo.
I guess Lewandowski's a better player right now. He just scores goals, dude. The guy's a machine.
Yeah, you're right. But
here's a pretty good one. It's by the same guy that asked about getting on the national team. Is it ever too late to start playing soccer at age 15 and try to go pro? I would say no, especially just to play, because number one, there's a lot you can get out of playing soccer without going pro. You play semi-pro, college, high school, good club level, whatever. So there's a lot to like work for in soccer other than pro. At 15, if you're just starting and your only goal is to go pro, then like you might not go pro. There's guys with 15 or like 12, 13 year head start of just working with the ball and knowing the game. But like it's not impossible. Like I'm pretty sure Weston McKennie didn't start playing until he was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
But you probably have to be more athletic than the other guys and develop quick and like work really, really hard. But have you ever seen like somebody who might be an athlete, but like they just go and like kick it around like with their friends, but they never played soccer before? They're absolutely terrible. They like can't move their foot like to pass with the inside of their foot.
Like, it's more like this instead of like that.
Yeah, their foot just doesn't move. It's like what? Can't be that hard.
You're 15 and like you just want to play to go pro. I don't know, but just if you're 15, just sign up and play.
Yeah, like if you're 15, like did you just decide that you're like, oh, I want to be a pro? You know what I mean? But if you're 15, work your way up. Find like a local recreational team or something, and then keep working hard. Find pickup games, whatever. Maybe try and get on a travel team or your high school team or something like that.
I mean, you got nothing to lose, really. So
yeah, you just play for fun, like have fun with it first.
Yeah.
That's all I had on TikTok.
Okay. So me bring up my questions real quick. So the first one I got is about Arsenal from my friend Carl. He said, what is the reason for the Arsenal collapse right now? So Arsenal's been struggling recently, really bad. Where are they in the table? Have you watched a lot of Arsenal?
I've watched a decent amount of I'd get home and watch a half of Arsenal. I don't think I've sat home and been able to watch full game. I'm pretty sure they're 15th in the table because people were making jokes about them.
Yeah, they're 15th, and they lost to Spurs on the weekend.
I mean, all right. You want me to start with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, I would have thought Arteta would be a good manager too. Maybe he is, but it's a pretty big jump to go from playing to managing Arsenal without managing someone else in between. I don't know if he managed young teams or whatever.
I'm not sure.
So I would have thought he was has a good base. He knows what he wants to do with the teams. He's pretty close to Pep. He helped Pep for, 2 years? So he's still pretty young, but he was around the best coach in the world. I don't know. So I don't know what to make of him as a manager, but look at their team, man.
I just don't think their team right now is strong enough to play the way Arteta really wants to play. I mean, they got solid players. Aubameyang has not been off to a good start. Same with Lacazette. I mean, the dude Rob Holding, I don't understand how that dude is still at Arsenal. That dude has been there. Has to be 6 years.
He could sign for the Union, and I wouldn't be too excited. I'd be got Rob Holding.
Yeah.
But all right, if you Arsenal fans, you think you're a Champions League caliber team or a Premier League winning team, this team's obviously better than 15th. They're off to a bad start. But if you want to be back to being Arsenal, top of the league, you're starting Saka, Granit Xhaka, Willian, who he was good, he's serviceable. Kieran Tierney, Gabriel, Rob Holding, Hector Bellerin. Those guys started in their last game.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the last.
I think that dude Gabriel is good. He's had put in some solid performances.
Europa League. They started. They won 4-1, but they started Cedric, Mustafi, El Neni, Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson. I don't know, some of these guys that are probably the main guys in the team in the 11. How are you going to say that they're a good team? I don't know. They're just guys. They wouldn't be popular if they didn't play for Arsenal.
But are people too quick to blame Arteta?
Maybe, because that team should be better. But he's also – wasn't he the manager all last season? Didn't he have 2 transfer windows?
No, he might have just had 1 transfer window, but
still, I don't know. It's probably a top-down kind of thing, too.
Yeah,
the team's not good enough. Nicolas Pepe, I guess I thought he was good, but
has he been playing?
Yeah, he played in the Europa League.
Okay,
Europa League. I don't know. So that's.
I think it just comes down to strength of the team.
What'd you say?
I said I think it just comes down to the strength of the team, and maybe Arteta doesn't have the players he wants to.
Yeah.
My
thing is, I feel like a coach can always make a team better, and I think not having players is a bad excuse. But when you get to this level that Arsenal's at, it's really not that it's not it is an excuse for some sense. But there's people that say this I don't know, a high school team or a college team, they can't compete because they don't have the players. But I'm sure a coach could do something to make them improve. You know what I mean? People at all levels use they don't have the players as a BS excuse. But here I think it's a real excuse. That Arteta's so better. All right, what's next?
Heading into the next question. This one's from my friend David. What are the different ways of watching a soccer game?
Wait, so how would we watch? I would say there's a lot of people that would sit with their friends and just watch, right? They're looking for maybe skill moves. They like a good free kick. They I don't know, just goals, exciting soccer. how I would like, then I think there's a couple different things that I try to balance, whereas sometimes you watch the tactics, right? How does a team press? How do they try and build up? Do they, look to hit one over the top? Are they trying to like pull the strings in midfield and play through balls, that kind of stuff? Are they looking to hold on to it? Are they looking to counterattack? And then there's like I'm going to watch a few specific players. How does this midfielder move? Does he check to the ball? Is his body shape open? How high does this outside back go? You know what I mean? So there's kind of like a team focus, and then there's like an individual player focus. And a lot of times I focus too much on the team, and I've been trying to focus more on the individual players. And I feel like that's how you learn more. But what are you going to say?
No, that's exactly like I say. Sometimes I'll just watch a game and I'm weird. Like when I put on a game, like I feel like I have to like sit there and watch. I can't be like on my phone and just have the game up.
Oh, I feel like if I'm doing something else while watching the game, I feel like I don't know anything that's happening.
Yeah.
It's very easy to like get lost in the,
Yeah. But I say like sometimes like you might just be watching the ball, just seeing like what the guys are just doing like on the field, and then sometimes you just might, like what you said, watch the shape of the team, like what are Pep's tactics that game, or you know what I mean. And
when do they go to press? How fast do they win it back? Like how long do they look to keep it?
And then watch an individual player and see what they do. So like those are the three main ways, I guess, people watch the game.
Yeah, and I think it kind of helps to watch in all different ways. Like maybe just watch for fun. Like sometimes in the Champions League, like I'm just like, heck, I just want to see who wins this game. I'm so excited. I very rarely watch as a fan, just because like other than the Union, I'm not like Arsenal fan or a Manchester United fan. So it's hard for me to sit down and watch as a fan. So I'm sitting down and like trying to learn something.
Yeah. So like 90% of the games I watch, I'm probably watching not as a fan.
Yeah. And then not when it's not at the pro level, like, so if it's a college level, high school, club, whatever, I feel like it's interesting to watch and like, what's the level of this player? So like if I'm watching, my high school team, I'm like, if I'm watching that player, it's like, is he a college soccer player? Is he a Division I soccer player? I wonder how good he is for his club team. And then you can kind of like pick out the levels there.
Yeah. Okay. And then we got a good one coming in.
From a good question. Tell David that's a good question.
I'll tell him. And then we got another good one coming.
Oh, wait. We got to tell this joke because I forgot to tell it earlier. When you were talking about like being on the phone during the game. Like if you're watching a game on TV and like someone's sitting there on the phone, me and you have this joke where like, like if you're on your phone, I'll be like, yo, Chad, is the game on your phone? Yeah. And obviously the game's not on his phone. He's just scrolling through Twitter or whatever. It's like, oh, so pay attention to the game.
Yeah, we always do that.
So next time you see someone on their phone during the game, you're like, yo, is the game on your phone?
Yeah, you can't catch someone on their phone during the game, no matter what game it is.
All right, next question.
How much impact does a formation have on a player? I guess that could mean how they develop or just how they play.
Who asked that question?
Will did.
Okay. So I think if you look at it first, how does a player play like right now? Like it kind of has a big impact because if you're let's say you're a striker and you're playing in a 4-3-3, you're probably up there alone, right? You're a lone striker with maybe 3 center midfielders underneath and 2 wingers. Yeah. So it's different than if you're a 4-4-2 and you have somebody kind of close or underneath you all the time.
Yeah.
Or if you're a defensive mid and you're playing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-1-4-1. But really, I think that the most important thing in that is like, I don't think it's so much the formation. I think it's like the team style and how they want to play. If you're a team that's trying to build up, trying to keep possession out of the back, and you're always playing to the defensive midfielder, that probably won't change too much if you're playing a 3-5-2, a 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2, whatever. Because that guy still wants to come back and get the ball off certain people. But if you change the style, So if you're a possession team in a 4-2-3-1, but you like to hit the channels, play a little bit of long ball when you play 3-5-2, then everything changes. You know what I mean? And then when you press as well, if you're a forward that likes to high press in a 4-3-3, and your team's a high pressing 4-3-3 team, but then if you're also playing in a high pressing 4-4-2 system, like it's similar. But if in one formation you have different tactics or different style, then I think it changes.
Yeah, if your team's playing the right way, the way you guys want to play, I guess it doesn't matter.
Right way.
What was I gonna say? Oh, for example, the formation that Dortmund play, like what would you call it?
It's like a 3-4-3.
3-4-3, and like the three up top. It's like striker and then two like attacking mids underneath, kind of. Like Gio Reyna kind of can play that position. Like, so when he comes to play winger on the national team, I feel like he usually just like tries to pinch in and stuff and get the ball under. Yeah. So that's what I think.
Yeah, like a player's tendencies aren't going to change. Like that's why if you look at players give them a player profile. Who does he play like? What's he do well? What's he not do well? What kind of player is he? Rather than like, oh, he's a winger in a 4-3-3. Like, what does that mean? Does he like to dribble people? Does he try and get him behind? Does he check the feet and help build up? So like, I think it's much more of like the team shape than anything. And like, I've been on teams that you're a pretty good team if you could, your style, I think, but you could say, heck, we're changing formations, but play our style. We're just positioned a little bit differently. And they play the same style. Like, I think that's more important.
Yeah. And, oh, shoot. I forget what I was going to say. I also think, like, what I think is, like, a formation should be, like, the strength of the players, too.
Yeah, well, I think depending on what kind of team it is, like, if you could bring in players to fit the formation and the style that you want to play, then that's ideal.
Yeah, not every team's like a team in the Premier League. You can buy like whoever they want.
If you're a college team, you could recruit to that.
True.
And maybe it benefits the player to try and teach them how to play in your kind of system too.
Yeah.
I thought I had something else I wanted to say. No, that's it.
Yeah. So.
You have another question?
Yeah, those were the 3 questions I got.
That was a pretty good question.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else?
No, but that giveaway, we gotta make sure we post something for that giveaway.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is you'll get one of the bracelets. Do you want this one? So we have another one of these US ones. Do you want this one or something different? I forget what the other one is. The other 2 are.
I'll figure it out.
All right. And we'll give those away. So I'm thinking we give one away on Instagram and one away on maybe my personal TikTok.
Okay.
That's where I have like 7,500 followers. So
yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah. And then don't we have 4 more? Didn't they give you 5?
No, we got 4 total. So I have this one, you'll get one, and we have 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So if there's a sweet like T-shirt sponsor out there that wants to make us some T-shirts and give them away.
Yeah. Right.
Great.
We were thinking about some merch.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because you got to order like 100 shirts to get a discount. It's like I'm not ordering 100 shirts.
We don't have the funds for that right now.
Or if everyone listening just gave us a 5-star review, told a friend, shared our stuff on Facebook and all that, maybe we get more followers, more shirts.
Sure. Keep telling your friends. They do that after every podcast. And we're slowly growing.
Where else are you going to get this quality content?
For sure.
Yeah, so I was thinking, next podcast, maybe we talk about national team December camp. So they play tomorrow. I think we talk about what else? I forget. Maybe something else. I was thinking I had a good idea of if we picked a game and like maybe we put a poll on Instagram and have like followers vote and like we say ahead of time, hey, everyone that wants to listen to this podcast and us, let's sit down, watch this game, take notes, and like really analyze like the players, the formation, the style, like the tactics, whatever. And like just 30, 40 minutes, just go in on the game. A little bit like we did at the Champions League final, but like a little bit more in depth. And then whoever, is following can be like, oh, I want to watch that game and then listen to the podcast to see if I agree, disagree, or maybe listen to the podcast and then watch the game.
Yeah. And give people like a few days to catch up, watch the game and stuff.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good idea. We got to pick an interesting game, though. I'm not just trying to watch like some random game.
Yeah, I was thinking like Fulham versus
the worst would be like a Fulham versus like City that happened this past weekend. It's like we know City's going to have all the ball. We know Fulham's just going to sit there. It's like I was thinking like Leipzig and Bayern Munich played this past weekend. So I was like, look, huh?
This past weekend or
this past weekend. So they already played, but if everybody has ESPN Plus, they could go back and watch the game. And then like it's two very different styles. So like Leipzig is vertical pressing, high work rate. Bayern Munich, not to say they don't do that, but they're going to dominate the game. So maybe we try and pick up on Leipzig's pressing triggers and that kind of stuff. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing else. We're good to go.
All right, cool. All right. Good stuff, Chad.
All right. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
All right. Peace.